Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, I present to you the 2021 Year in Skincare Review. This is the video where we get to look back on everything that happened in the past 12 months. From the highs through to the lows, the new brand launches, the hot ingredients, the trends that have emerged, all of that good stuff. Honestly, 2021 seems to have just flown by, so it's really easy to forget some of the things that have happened. And this is why I love to sit down and film a recap just before we enter 2022. So sit back, relax, and let's talk 2021 in skincare. Now, before we get into this video, obviously there's going to be some things that I missed. So much has gone on in the skincare world. It would be impossible to pull it all together in just one video. However, I would love it if you guys would sound off in the comment section below with anything I've missed, any of your personal highs, lows, any trends or products that I've missed out. Definitely let me know in that comment section because I love to hear from you. Just promise me that whilst you're down there, you'll also give this video a big thumbs up and a like. Whilst 2021, I'm sure, has been a mixed year for everyone, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank each and every one of you because it's been a fantastic voyage for both myself and the channel Mad About Skin. I would never have dared to dream that we would be where we are today if I look back at the start of 2021, and that's all thanks to the love and support that you guys show me. So honestly, from the bottom of my heart, for everyone that's ever watched a video, left a like or a comment, I love you so much. But without further ado, and in true Mad About Skin style, shall we cut the waffle and just delve straight on in? Now, I am all about the positives, so should we talk what I call the hero brands of 2021? Those brands that I think have gone up in my estimation, at least. I'm going to start with Garnier. Now, Garnier, drugstore to their core. They have in the past, had some really good products. Some of their products have been a bit meh. Why they're on my hero list is 2021 is the year where they decided they were going entirely cruelty-free. I absolutely love this, and yes, I know there's so many other brands that already were cruelty-free that aren't getting a shout out in this video, but why I pulled Garnier is because they're such a huge multinational brand. They had no need to do this. They clearly did it because they wanted to do it. It was their ethics that drove this decision, and whilst, I wish they'd done it 10 years ago, I always think we should celebrate and applaud brands that do the right thing, and for Garnier to bring so much more choice in terms of drugstore cruelty-free products to us, the consumer, I'm all on board with that. I've also fallen hard for a lot of their sunscreens in 2021. Super affordable, great to lather on the body and the face, and they have like 60 different options. So no matter what texture you want, formulation you need, Garnier probably has one for you. So definitely one of my hero products. I also want to call out St. Ives. Now, this is going to come as a shock. People are going to be gagged and gasped. I know. A lot of people hate St. Ives because of their, association with their traditional apricot scrub. Okay, that's not the best product in the world. I wish they'd discontinue it, but there we are. They're clearly not. It's clearly selling well. But the reason I want to call them out as being one of my hero brands is the same as for Garnier. They again announced they were going entirely cruelty-free this year, which I really love. I think we should be applauding brands that do the right thing. And St. Ives, whilst the apricot scrub is to be avoided at all costs, their body lotions that they introduced this year are so good. They do a colloidal oatmeal one to calm and soothe, game-changingly good. They do a collagen boosting one, which just hydrates and nourishes, and I absolutely adore. Whilst St. Ives are known for their scrubs, definitely check out, now they're cruelty-free, their body butters and lotions, because they are game-changingly great, and literally like £2.50 each. Drugstore to their core, and another hero brand that I want to celebrate this year. Now, there are so many other brands that have just done really good this year. I focused down on those two things because being cruelty-free is something that's really important to me in terms of the products that I reach for my own skincare routine. But if you want to shout out any of the other hero brands that you think are worth a mention, sound off in the comments section below, because towards the end of this year, I do want to do a larger video expanding on this category where we can shout out all the brands that are doing good. And your recommendations will clearly play a huge part in that, so I'd love to hear from you. Now, whilst we're covering off the ding holy grail amazing brands I'm happy to shout out now, fortunately we do have a total fail collections, and these are the brands that fell from grace in 2021. First up is Herbivore. They obviously had the Herbivore bakuchiol scandal, which is where their bakuchiol serum was actually found to contain 0 bakuchiol. I think this is kind of like skincare 101 for brands. If you're going to advertise your product as containing something, it kind of has to contain that ingredient. I think this is just like the basic level of expectations from us, the consumer. They actually never apologized for this. They just said, well, it kind of contains something that's similar to bakuchiol. Yeah, no. Just no. And this, I think, turned a lot of people off the brand. They used to be one of the most talked about and hyped brands, certainly on YouTube and Instagram, but now they very rarely get a mention. I think a lot of that is down to their herbivore bakuchiol scandal, and how they really responded to that, which wasn't the best way possible. Another fall from grace came from Keep Cool and Soothe. Again, a really popular viral Korean brand that last year was just about on everyone's lips. This year, never hear them mentioned or talked about. They obviously fell foul of some independent testing done on their sunscreens, but again, like Herbivore, the way they dealt with it is really what I think turned a lot of people off. First and foremost, they said, no, there's nothing wrong with our sunscreens, nothing to see here, people, keep on moving. And I was like, really? Really? And then the independent testing came out and it showed that it was woefully below the SPF the brand was advertising. And then they doubled down on it, so they started threatening people that dared to say that their sunscreen wasn't really living up to expectations. Then they kind of took the product off the market very quietly without a whole lot of fanfare and really didn't apologise to anyone for the way that they treated people, really did anything to make amends. Just not good. You know what, with so many great brands on the market and some really great ethics and ethoses behind them, we don't need this sort of shady behaviour in our lives, which is why they've gone from being a brand that a lot of people talk about to one that just everybody ignores and doesn't want to hear any more about. Finally, we had the Crave Beat Shield issue. So Crave, which is again a popular Korean skincare brand, but led by the influencer Leah Yu here on YouTube, and some of their products are really, really good. However, their Beat Shield, which was their sunscreen, actually came again under some independent testing this year and was proven to be below the SPF that the brand was advertising. Now, this independent testing was actually commissioned by the brand themselves, and they came out and said, look, it's a little bit below what we expected, which is why we're pulling it from market. We're going to do some things to make amends for consumers, and we'll put another product out in the future when we're ready to. There was some element of an apology, but I think the issue was they never actually said what the true SPF was, which left people wondering, can I use this product? Can I not? And this whole thing, I think, just left a sour taste in the mouth around the brand. Now, they have done some things since, such as look at their packaging to be much more environmentally conscious, to have some really great environmental and recycling abilities to all their products, and all of this should be applauded. So they're clearly taking the brand and moving it forward, but I think this could just have been handled a little bit better, and I think it would have led to people having a more positive view of the brand in the outcome, and would have overlooked the scandal a little bit quicker. So we've done the positives, we've done the negatives when it comes to brands, but what about those new launches this year? Well, we had the Nimya by Nikki Tutorials influencer skincare line. This, I think, was more of a hybrid between a skincare and a cosmetics, like a makeup line, because it was definitely like primer focused. It didn't have a full skincare routine. It was definitely about improving the skin and prepping it for makeup, which kind of makes sense as that's Nikki's like forte here on YouTube. People seem to really love this product line. I tried two of the products. I tried the cream, I tried the eye like stick roll-on. The eye roll-on was okay. I mean, it worked really well to depuff, cool. I really liked the cucumber extract in there, but I thought it was a little bit pricey compared to some other more affordable ones on the market, so I didn't repurchase it. I actually really liked the cream. Whilst I don't wear makeup day in, day out, I think if you do, it would be a really nice base primer with some added skincare benefits to boot. So yeah, I think it was a successful launch. Nikki is clearly loving every minute of it, and she's clearly been very heavily involved in it, which I absolutely love to see. We then saw the launch of ultraviolet sunscreens. People went mad for this. Now, I think technically they were launched in Australia a few years ago, but they actually launched here in the UK in 2021, and they took the internet by storm. They do different colour ranges, though some people have said the shade range on their tinted sunscreens isn't as inclusive as it should be. I'll do a little bit more of a deep dive into that in a future video, but people have called that out. But they definitely offered some really nice packaging, some really nice formulations, and something really different in the market. They disappeared without a trace on the skin, and whilst the price point was a little bit bougie, a little bit extra, people seemed to absolutely adore the formulation. So it was definitely a winner when it came to a launch. For me, I just like to go for cheaper, more affordable sunscreens. I like to be lavish with my protection, so I don't like to overpay because, you know, I like drugstore so I can put as much on as I want. But definitely a successful launch that people seem to love. And I'll come on to it in the next couple of weeks. We'll talk about the shade range and all of that with their newly launched tinted sunscreens, because there's something that definitely is picking apart with that. We then had the launch of the Selfless by Hyram line, which again, I think was definitely the biggest launch of the year. I've got some thoughts on that, which I covered in a previous video, which I'll link up there if you want to check that out. But again, it happened. Some people seem to really love the products, which is amazing. Some people said they didn't really work for their skin type. So I think it's all going to going to be situational as to what you want. Finally, I launched my own skincare line, which I'm not going to talk about too much in this video because kind of that would just be shameful self-promotion. So we'll skip over that, but it would also be a bit weird if I didn't mention it. I'm really, really grateful for all the love and support that you guys have shown me on that. It's been a dream of mine since I was young to launch this, and honestly, dream fulfilled. And it's been bigger than beyond my wildest expectations. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if you do want to see a review of it, I'll link some reviews done by independent content creators that you might want to check out, because obviously I don't want to sit here and fangirl about my own skincare line. That would be a little bit of a cringe moment, so I'll leave some links below if you want to check that out. Now let's come on to some trends. What were the trends in 2021? Well, finally, I think we've got to grips with the idea that stronger isn't always better. You've seen a lot more gentle skincare enter the market, and people really seeing their skincare routine as a marathon, not a sprint. This is something that I've definitely evolved my position on in 2021. I used to reach for the strongest, highest potency ingredient going forward, and then I find like I got results, but I always got sensitivity, redness, and irritation. I've kind of learned alongside everyone else this year that sometimes going for something a bit more gentle, but being a little bit more patient and seeing those results in the long term is the way forward. And definitely this has been one of the hot trends of 2021, and I'm happy to endorse and support that, because I definitely think one thing we've learned from Korean skincare is gently, over a longer period of time, is the way forward with skincare. Also, minimizing, streamlining, whatever you want to call it, has been a huge factor in 2021. I think that's because in 2020, we had a lot more time on our hands. A lot of us weren't commuting the same way to work. We had a little bit more time to spend. That way, we maybe extended our skincare routine and ended with like 8, 10, 12-step skincare routines. A lot of people have returned back to the office, back to work in 2021 and thought, okay, whilst I might have had half an hour to do a routine in 2020, I don't have that in 2021. So streamlining has been a really big thing. A lot of brands have responded to this, which I really love, by doing multi-active formulations in their serums. That's great. You can get multiple benefits with one product, cuts down on the cost, the shipping, the overall number of products in your routine. I think this is definitely a winner, and I expect this trend to continue into 2022. As again, we just look to pare back. We're looking for like maximum benefits with minimum steps in our routine, and this is something I'm trying to do. I'm rubbish at minimizing, just for the record. My routine is still like 10 steps long, but you know, that's minimum for me. And this all reflects on what works well for you. Look at what your start point is and what your end point is, and then work out if it's more minimalist than it used to be. Finally, we're going to call it maskne. The dreaded maskne. Obviously, we've all been wearing the face masks much more in the last, 2 years. And I think 2021 was the year where everyone started talking about maskne, the breakouts that you get, particularly along like around the mouth, along the jawline, caused by the wearing of those masks. This, I think, leads on to what I'm going to call about my hot ingredients, because I noticed a lot of the trendy, hot, talked about ingredients in 2021 kind of led on from that whole maskne situation. The first is oatmeal. Oat everywhere, and I live for this. So one of the hottest ingredients to hit the market in 2021 is that colloidal oatmeal, or beta-glucans, which are derivatives of oat. It's fantastic because studies have shown it calms, it soothes, it minimizes inflammation. Love that. If, like me, you're super acne prone and you have breakouts, particularly on the jawline, that are quite red and aggressive in nature, incorporating an oat derivative in your routine can be game changing. It'll shrink the size, minimize the redness, the irritation. Your zits will look a lot less angry than they did before, and I love that. I think this is going to continue into 2022, and we're going to see a whole lot of oat-based skincare, and I really love that. If you want to see a whole video on like oat and skincare, my favorite products, let me know in the comment section below, because I'll quite happily film that, because I definitely think this has been one that I've been fangirling hard over in the past 12 months. Hybrid sunscreens also kind of hit everyone's consciousness in 2021. They've been around for years. This is nothing new, but as with a lot of trends, what we all think is, oh, this is new, this is revolutionary. You then look and it was invented in like the 70s. But hybrid sunscreens are definitely growing in popularity. That's because they often combine the benefits, like the best of both worlds. You get some chemical sunscreens to ensure you're getting a broad spectrum protection, but you also get a lot of mineral UV filters as well, which means that you can minimize the exposure to the chemical filters, which some people want to avoid, whilst also getting the benefits of both. I really love a hybrid sunscreen. I think they work better for people my skin tone or fairer, because often with these hybrid sunscreens, you will notice that you get some white cast and ashiness. Not as bad as a purely mineral sunscreen, but you will still be present because it's got those mineral filters in. But it'll minimize on that ashiness and that white cast. It minimizes exposure to chemical UV filters, and it delivers broad spectrum protection. It's like win-win-win, ding, ding, ding. There's so many great ones on the market, and I filmed some of my favorites in a recent recent video, which I'll link up there. Definitely worth checking out. And finally, salicylic acid. This has again been around for years, but because of that maskne that I referenced has unfortunately been a bit of a trend in 2021, lots of people are reaching for salicylic acid to dial back the redness, the irritation, and try and tackle some of the congestion we're seeing in our skin. I absolutely love salicylic acid, wouldn't be without it, and I again covered my absolute favourites in a video this year, which I'll link up there. Such a great ingredient, and it's applicable for all skin types. You just have to find the right one, and that video should help you do that. Definitely a hot ingredient, which whilst it's been around for years, really I think grew into everyone's consciousness this year. Now, my final two things I want to talk about is the high point in terms of my favourite video that I filmed this year, and the worst moment for me. Because you know what, we all have to learn from our experiences as well. So my favourite video was the vintage skincare video I filmed. I love that video so much. It actually didn't do that well relative to some of my other videos, but you know what? It was so good to film it. It was so much fun. It was looking at skincare from like the 50s, 60s, and how it performs today. Honestly, I found some really great products there, so I'm going to leave a link to that video up there. So fun to film. You can tell from the video, I was just having fun throughout it. It was definitely my favourite of the year, and one that I would definitely recommend you check out if you didn't already. In terms of the worst moment for me, I think I filmed a video covering the Crave Beauty Beat Shield issue, which I actually referenced in the low point earlier in the video, and I'd actually spoken to the creator of Crave Beauty, which was Leah Yu, prior to that video, where she disclosed to me what the true SPF was in those independent testing. She asked me not as a confidence to not share it with the wider public, because I think there was some concerns around litigation and all of that stuff, which, you know what, there are very high like legal thresholds over in Korea, which obviously content creators and brand leaders have to be mindful of. However, I then did that video and said personally I would continue to use that product, but I knew what the SPF was, and you shouldn't give that advice. If you can't share everything, you shouldn't share anything at all, and I've learned from that experience. I think that was the low point for me of this year, and the video that I'm least proud of. I'm going to find it actually after this video and just take it off the market, because you know what, there's always those videos that I think just don't need to exist, and that was it. I'm glad that I cleared and clarified some of the things around it, but I think if you can't share everything, there's no point sharing anything at all. And rightly, people call me out for that. You know what? I'm always open to criticism, and when people want to level that criticism in a professional way, I'm here to hear it. And that I would say would be my least favourite video of the year, and the one that of all of them I actually regret. I don't personally believe in taking too many regrets forward, so that one I can deal with, remove the video and take that feedback on board and learn from the experience. But everything else I just think has been a really great journey, and I'm so glad that I came on it with you guys. 2021 has taught us a whole lot of things. We've got some new ingredients, some new trends, we've got some new skincare. Some brands have gone up in our estimation, some have gone down. It's been a little bit of a voyage, so sound off in the comment section below what your high points and low points have in terms of the skincare world in 2021. Obviously, I'm probably going to film this, upload it, and then kick myself for forgetting something major. So, you know, don't read me to filth. If I've forgotten something, it's not deliberate. It's just there's a lot to fit into one video in a 20-minute slot. Wherever you are in the world, guys, I hope you've had an amazing 2021, all things considered. And if you haven't, don't worry. We're here for you as a family on Mad About Skin. I'm sending you the world's biggest love and hug. And hopefully everyone will have a super prosperous and successful 2022. I look forward to joining the 2022 year with you guys, and wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well. I love your skin. Take care. Bye.